September 2019, we introduced WordAware to our curriculum. WordAware is a programme we follow which uses different strategies to introduce children to and review vocabulary. We introduced WordAware because we want the children to have a better understanding of vocabulary. Having a good understanding of vocabulary can have a positive impact on many different things, including a child's ability to have and understand conversations, as well as their reading and writing skills. Whilst the children were in school during the last academic year, they were taught a new word almost every day. And even when the school had to close and we were setting remote learning tasks, we continued to try and promote the teaching of new vocabulary. When the Department for Education published guidance on how best to support children in getting them back on track, vocabulary was one of the priorities they identified. Already having a system in place has meant we are a step ahead, which is great. In order to really have a good understanding of individual words, children need to be able to say, understand, write and read the words. When children are younger and first learn to read, phonics gets them off to a really good start. But as they get older, their comprehension of what they've read becomes just as, if not even more, important. In school, the Year 1 and 2 teachers teach their class a new word every day. In nursery and reception, we will be building up to this as the academic year goes on. When we introduce our class to a new word, we use a multi-sensory approach. Each word always comes with a visual, we have a little song we sing, we think of words that rhyme with our new word, and we always write a sentence that contains the word. Once we have taught a new word, it is stuck to the word wall in the classroom, whilst the children are still watching, so they know where to find the word if they want to use it in their writing. Each classroom has the same word wall sign, and where possible the word wall is close to the English working wall. These words are then reviewed regularly through games and activities. Often, if I have a spare few minutes before collective worship or after story time, I will describe one of the words on the word wall and see if the children can identify which of our words I am describing. Teachers will make sure that you as parents know which sounds the children have been taught, so you can support them with their understanding of these words at home. This year we have introduced word monitors to each class. These are children who will put their hand up when they don't understand a word that has been used by an adult in the classroom. The final thing we are doing, which is probably also the most important, is that we are promoting the use of good vocabulary through praise. This final slide gives advice on how you can support your child with their vocabulary at home. Firstly, it is normal for young children to pronounce words and sounds incorrectly, and often children are able to say them correctly, but they've learnt it that way and it's become ingrained. We recommend you don't make a big thing out of it, you just model the correct pronunciation back to your child and then carry on with the conversation. At the end of the day, ask your child what word they have learnt and if they can remember what it means. Parents sometimes tell us their child isn't able to tell them what they've done at school. This is something specific you can ask your child about. When you've found out what words your child has been taught, either from your child or their teacher, try to use the words as much as possible. You could even encourage them to use them in their home learning or spot them when you're reading together. If your child is in nursery or reception, they probably won't be writing the words we've taught them in their home learning. But if they do use any of the vocabulary we have taught them, please record their use of the word as an observation on tapestry. We also recommend playing word games such as I Spy and Consequences. Consequences is a great game to play with children of all ages and can be played with 2 or more players. Someone starts the game by making up the opening sentence of a story. The next player then comes up with the next sentence of the story, and so on. You can end up with some very funny stories. It's also great for developing story writing, which children also find very difficult at such a young age. Another activity you can do is that you can pick a letter and your child has to think of as many words as they can that begins with that letter. You can even turn it into a family competition. Finally, if you have a child's dictionary, you can play the dictionary game. We play this in school and the children love it. We ask a child to pick a letter from the alphabet and we turn to a page in the dictionary with words beginning with that letter on it. We then ask another child to pick a number, and if they pick the number 3, for example, we would choose the third word on the page. We then read out the definition of the word, and the children have to guess what the word is. Whoever gets it right gets to choose the next letter. It's very simple, but as I said, they really do love it. Our final piece of advice is to use more advanced vocabulary. Just like with the complex terminology we use in phonics, the children do pick it up. I hope you have found that information useful. If you have any questions, please ask your child's class teacher or contact me using the admin email address on this slide. Thank you for listening.